Hello guys and girls, it's the great and glorious and be famous one day, Nick Dutch back on the camera yet again. Now, I'm going to have a look at a video today which is by a YouTube user called agnosticman. It's entitled A Real Christian? And it's a very good, classic ponage video against Christian fundamentalists. I found myself in agreement with a lot of the issues that he's raised, a lot of the ideas he was talking about, but there are some points that I want to elaborate upon to, I suppose, explain and express, how should I put this, a more rationalistic attitude towards theistic things, shall we say. Now, at about 1 minute 10 into his video, he came out with the accusation from the fundamentalists, I think it was, saying, "You haven't been infused with Jesus and the Holy Spirit." And about 1 minute 23, Agnostic Man then says, "Yeah, well, neither have you," talking to the fundamentalists. Now, the states of mind of the feeling of a relationship with God and that of the Holy Spirit and the rest of that are purely, to the best of our knowledge, psychological, or some kind of inner experience. And I've had similar experiences myself, but I know they're just experiences. Now, anyone can claim to have had this experience, but no one can say that anyone else has had these experiences or not, because it is purely subjective. But what we can't do is state that the apparent rules of the world or rules of the natural world that these experiences suggest have any real validity, because we don't know enough. All we can do is state what these experiences seem to feel like, okay? Agnostic Man at about 1 minute 27 in his video entitled A Real Christian says, "These things are figments of your imagination," and that's absolutely right. All religion is essentially imagination. And the biggest mistake that fundamentalists make is to state that things that they imagine are as real as the physical universe. Although spiritual and psychic experiences do seem to happen, we cannot prove that the apparent natural laws that these experiences suggest have solid, hard and fast reality. We just don't know enough yet. Religion is by its nature purely psychological, so it seems, to the best of our knowledge. But that does not mean to say that there are no benefits from it. A mistake made by people in the atheist community here on YouTube is to suggest that any benefits of religion can and must be proven by the methods of the natural physical sciences. However, to think like this is to basically go down the route of something called scientism, which is the discredited point of view that suggests that non-physical things such as thought, subjective experience, emotion, should essentially be measured in a similar manner to physical phenomena. Now, I feel that we should compare like with like, apples with apples, right? Not like apples with giraffes. I don't feel it's always possible to try and use natural science methods to explore things which are subjective and emotional, for instance. So I think that argument would actually be illogical and potentially downright wrong. I don't feel that that's what Agnostic Man was focusing on in this particular video. I feel he was focusing much more about the attitudes of this particular group of Christian fundamentalists. Now, at 1 minute 37 into his video, Agnostic Man says, "You don't hear the Holy Spirit, you hear your subconscious," and that's perfectly correct. The psychological world, alright, is the so-called spiritual world, the so-called sacred world. So when shamanic people do their trance drumming and they go and explore the imaginary underworld, we can say that they are having a look at parts of their own psychological being and experiencing things through their trance and meditation. We can definitely say that. But I think we can definitely say that. It would make sense that we can definitely say that. However, I can't say that as an absolute. And if religion is a way of experiencing this inner world, then basically that's cool enough. The fundamentalists again make the mistake of needing to see an internal psychological phenomena as if it was external, and to believe that there's an inverted commas external force is a real external force in a similar manner to those of like gravity and all the rest. And also that these fundamental theists are trying to explain this as if this was scientific knowledge of the natural world. Now, this particular atheist, namely agnosticman77, seems to be suggesting that there is no merit to a higher power concept, whether it is, in inverted commas, real or in imagination. But even in imagination, there may well be some forms of anti-positivistic benefit to having the higher power concept. There's still nothing really wrong with religion, but there is a lot wrong with the approach of the fundamentalist extremists. Now, at points 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the video, Agnostic Man does accuse this certain type of fundamentalist as being delusional whacknuts, which I agree with 100%. You know, I think that's totally correct. When a devout religious person becomes threatened, they do defend themselves with all manner of extreme fantastical nonsense. And it appears that, you know, you, agnosticman77, are attacking a certain variety of unintelligent religious extremists. However, I feel that's not representative of the entire theistic demographic. Now, you did you did quote Christopher Hitchens at about 2 minutes 15 seconds into your video, approximately. And again, I think you're right that things that have no evidence can and should be dismissed. Of course, it does depend upon how these things are being explained. If a religious person was to say that my concept of God is, you know, imaginary, I've built it up in my imagination and it seems to provide me with some benefit, then basically just let them at it. You may feel that they are doing something which doesn't make much sense to you, but you can let them at it, and I reckon that will be okay. We have to see the reality of these unproven things as being psychological, and the benefits of these imagined or unproven things as being anti-positivistic in nature. Now, the Truth Group, which is the religious extremist group that the agnosticman77 is, in inverted commas, pwning, are complete whack jobs. They have taken something which is allegorical, mystical, and based upon personal experiences, you know, experiential, just like everything else in prayer, meditation, magic, the occult, and have presented that as if it were, you know, hard and fast facts of the natural world, in a totally dumbed down, sub-heathen manner. And yes, their techniques are cult-like, and they seem to resemble that of fanatical Islam. They are shits, and they have done to their own religion what Jack the Ripper did to prostitutes. So I am glad that you've called them out. But the reason that I'm explaining what I'm doing, you know, reason that I'm explaining this stuff from my own point of view, is to show that we don't need to see ourselves as being in a war between atheists and theists. I don't feel that that's appropriate. But I hope I can explain a little more about a more rational attitude to religious and theistic things. You know, agnosticman77, I don't feel that, you know, you actually hate theists, but there are certain sects and sects of theist extremists and dumbed down fanatical fundamentalists who you are objecting to, and basically carry on objecting to them. Alright, this has been the great and glorious and be famous one day, Nick Dutch, signing out for now. Good fortune, God and or goddess and or none of the above bless. Speak to you at some point. Bye for now.